Hello everyone, and welcome back to my series where we're talking to my favourite gymnasts in the world of trampoline, tumbling and double mini. Today we're joined by Beth Williamson, who is a junior European bronze medalist and was two-time world silver team medalist and multiple British medalist. Hello Beth, how are you?
Hi, good, how are you?
How are you things? I love your wall.
Thanks.
You painted that, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
I got it off Pinterest.
That's cool. It looks really amazing. How are you doing in lockdown? Have you been getting out much?
I am thriving.
Really?
Yes.
What have you been doing?
Sleeping in.
Oh, nice.
The first time I've not been tired in a long time. I've been painting.
Okay.
We've been doing DIY. Today we've painted the garage and the whole front of the house.
Do you do a lot of art? Do you study art? Or is that just a hobby?
No, I never did. I should have. I always thought I was rubbish at it. And then now I'm like, oh, I'm quite good.
Yeah, it's something you could take up because that painting in the background is amazing.
I've been told that I could charge like $2,000 for a wall.
That's a good side hustle if you want to.
No experience, so I wouldn't do it. But you know, if anybody wants a wall, $2,000.
Right, we're going to get stuck in here. I'm going to start asking some questions about your journey in gymnastics and trampoline double mini, because I think a lot of people don't know much about trampoline gymnastics in general, any of the disciplines of it, especially DMT. So let's start off at the very, very beginning. So how did you get involved in gymnastics?
Well, my uncle used to trampoline for Great Britain.
Oh, wow. Who's that?
Neil Brooks.
Oh, okay.
You know it?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's my uncle. And then my mom used to trampoline, but she was like schools, the schools competitions.
Like a very low level.
Yeah, I think the best she did was 5th at schools. Okay. So it's like her biggest accomplishment. And then I used to do tumble tots. And then I think we went into the sports centre and my mom ran into someone she used to trampoline with. My sister started. And then after my sister started, I used to get on. I was like 5, so I used to get on the trampoline at the end of the session.
Just for an illegal bounce?
Yeah, the first thing I did, I got on my first ever go, 1 bounce front somersault, and then I got shouted at and I had to get off.
And did you start proper classes soon after that?
Yeah, so when I was 6, then I started trampolining. Yeah.
So really, you've been a trampolinist from the very, very beginning?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, tumble tots is just walking along things and stuff, isn't it? So I just started at that and then straight into trampolining.
Oh, you got a dog.
Yeah, it's loud.
So did you then transition from trampolining into double mini? Like, when did that happen?
So I trampolined up until I was like 13. And then I used to train mini like 13, so I had 13 British. I think that's when I swapped. No, I think I used to compete but not train. So like I'd just go and do mini and I'd just be like a brawny back summy or something, but I'd just go and try it at a competition. That might have been like 2010.
And was that like low level regional competitions? So you wouldn't train it, but you would just turn up and do it?
No, I think it was like when it was Nat C and Fig B and stuff. So I was under 11s, but there was like a certain criteria I had to hit, wasn't it? So I think I could get there with like tuck back Rudy and maybe a tuck half out or tuck jump half out or something. So I think I used to just try to do that in a competition.
But it wasn't something that you trained all the time. Trampoline was the thing that you trained all the time.
When did you have a mini in our sports centre? We didn't have a mini, so we used to have to travel down to Deeside, which is in Wales.
Oh, wow.
And that's where we do our Friday session.
And can you remember when you kind of changed from being a trampolinist who did a little bit of mini to being more of a double mini gymnast?
That was when I moved clubs.
Oh, okay. When was that?
2014. That was when because up until then it was once a week session max.
And what club did you move to?
Birkenhead.
Okay. And was that when you started with Kathy Page as your coach?
Yeah, Kathy, and then Sarah she was always there, but she never coached me. I had Kathy and then occasionally Lindsay.
But
mainly calves.
And did she encourage you, did Kathy encourage you to do DMT a little bit more, or was it just something that naturally happened?
I think it was just something that naturally happened. Like, I just got better at mini and started winning things, so I just focused on that more. It's quite hard to do both. Like, we trained for 3 hours, so doing like an hour and a half tramp and an hour and a half mini, it's hard to like split because you get stuck into one thing and then you run out of time. And
yeah, it's hard to balance it.
Yeah.
Can you remember how long it took you to get really up into the national circuit, like properly, not to the point where you were making finals and you were winning medals?
So it was January when I moved to Birkenhead in 2014. Then I did the spring series. I don't think I hit scores at the first one, but the second one I qualified to British.
And spring series is to qualify for the British Championships.
Yes. And then 2014 British, I won. I came British champ. So
oh wow.
Maybe like
what age group was that?
15 to 16, but I was 14 at the time.
Oh wow. So when is your birthday? Is your birthday really late?
The end of October, so everybody else was like 15, 16, and I was like, hi.
The 14-year-old hadn't turned 20
baby. Everyone thought I was 16. I think Lauren Jeffrey asked me, she was like, how old are you at one of the competitions? And I was like, 14.
And did you go into that British Championships thinking, I'm going to win here, or did you think I'm just going to have fun and see what happens?
I wanted world age score, so I went in hoping for that. But I didn't think I'd win. And
so you had to do then a couple of years at 15, 16?
I did 2 years, so 2014 and 2015. I was 15, 16.
And did you do well in 2015 as well?
Yeah, I won then too.
Oh, so kind of undefeated at junior level on the British circuit. Very good. And when did you go senior then?
2016.
2016, you competed as a senior that
whole
year? And that was the year that you were at Junior Europeans as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So when you were competing and you were winning British titles and stuff like that, had you already started going international as a club to international competitions or club internationals, or was it something that you were thinking about?
I don't think we've ever done a club international, like with the club. I didn't do any up until Worlds 2014. That was my first international.
And who was it who kind of planted the seed of international level in your head? Was it Kathy, or were you already thinking that? Is that why you moved?
I think it was me, because in 2013 I was like looking at the world score. Even though I only train once a week, I was like, I want that. So I came in and I was kind of like, this is my plan. This is what I want to do.
So it's kind of probably the move to Birkenhead was to try and get those scores and try and push yourself to be international.
Yeah. Well, they thought I was good enough to do that, so
You went with it?
Yeah.
When did you make the national team first then? Can you remember?
July 2014.
Okay. Did you get an invitation to the British?
That first one that we had. You weren't there.
No, I was.
It was around. It was summer, and like Kirsty was like,
Kirsty,
what did you say? It was me, Kirsty, my sister got on it, so me and Loz went.
So probably was the August camp in 2014, was it?
Yeah, something like that, or like June or July, one of those.
And did it come off the back of you winning British? You got an invitation to this squad?
No, it was before then. It was actually before British. So.
And do you remember what triggered it? No, like
it was after Spring Series 2. I competed pike off out mount straight back or something, and I think Toby, because Toby was in charge at the time, said to Lindsay something like, "Oh, what's coming off that pike off out?" And then next minute I got a letter through saying I was on the national squad. So.
And did it feel good? What was it like going up to your first national squad training session?
I was terrified. I think me and Lauren sat in the car for ages, like, we can't go in.
Is Lauren your sister?
Yeah. We didn't have any GB kits, so we just had to show up on our tracksuits, and everybody out there was like in their kit, and we were like.
Did it feel weird walking in?
Yeah, but it's weird to think of that now, because like I just walk in like I'm here.
Yeah, now you're so comfortable. Did you know people on the team? Were they already your friends?
No.
So
I knew of Kirsty and them because I knew they were on the Europeans team, but I'd never spoken to them.
So that was the first time. Did you find it tough, or was it very kind of inclusive? Did people make you feel welcome?
I think it was all right. We were all like dead young, so we just got on with it, and then started doing cartwheels on the grass outside. And
so if you didn't have your first kit, when did you get your kit? Did you have to wait until you were going to a competition to get it?
Yeah, 2014 Worlds is when I got the kit.
Did it feel amazing?
Yeah, I was so excited. I think we ordered double and lost. I gave lost too.
Everyone feels amazing when they get their first kit. I remember when Ryan's came and I put it out on the floor and I was like, oh my God. And it was all too small.
For him or for you?
For for him. I wasn't a coach at that stage.
Oh.
So what was your first international then?
World age in 2014.
And you qualified that from the British Championships?
Yeah, I think the score was like 65.
And was that the one that was in Daytona?
Yes, it was a good first one to go to.
Yeah, I missed that one. So what age group were you, 15, 16?
Yeah.
How did it feel when you got there? Like, obviously, you're used to the British circuit, but obviously this is a different kettle of fish. Did it feel big, or did it feel just normal?
I can't really remember. I think it probably felt big. It was probably just like
you know that moment when you first get there as a team and you walk into the training hall and you see it for the first time. Can you remember that?
Not really. I can remember getting my accreditation. I thought that was so cool.
Just having your
I still got it somewhere. I kept them all, but I don't know where I put them.
And can you remember how you did?
Not very well. I had a sore hamstring.
Oh, really? And were you able to compete your planned passes?
I had to change them. I was supposed to do 2 mounts, but I couldn't run, so I had to do spotters.
Okay.
I landed on my feet. I think I finished 14th.
Okay, yeah.
So it wasn't horribly bad, but I could have done better if I'd been able to run.
It happens, doesn't it? And I think it's one of the things a lot of people look at now is injury management is a bigger thing in double mini now than it used to be. And
I trained for it too much. Like, I wanted it so bad that I was overtraining.
Yeah, that's common, isn't it? Was it nervous? Like, can you remember the competition day? Did it feel like a bigger deal? Did it feel, oh my God, I'm at the World Championships?
Yeah, I think it always, like all the other worlds have. So I think that I probably didn't sleep the night before. I never sleep the night before.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm just wondering, like, at that age, coming out of your country to a different country for the first time, like, how you handle that. Do you think you were prepared for it, or was it just something that you took in your stride?
I think it's something I just got on with. I was really homesick. I always am. I hate being away from my mum, even now.
Really? You're away quite a lot. You are?
I'm 20 and I'm just like, Mom, where are you?
You can be a mummy's girl your whole life.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think I was quite nervous. Towards the end, I think I was ready to go home because I just wanted to be in my own.
It's tough when you're doing world age because you only compete on one day.
Yeah.
So you have to wait around the rest of it. So then you did 2 world age. You did 14 and 15. Did you do Denmark?
Yeah.
And how did you get on in Denmark?
I fell on my face.
What skill?
Double straight.
Oh wow.
My one of my faves.
Hey,
It was one of those. I was standing on the runway and I was like, just calm down. This is your easy pass. You got this. And then I went too easy and I just went.
Was 2014 Worlds the first time you had competed without your personal coach, without Kathy, or without a coach that you're working with on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I think so.
And can you remember it feeling weird? Like, was it something you had to get used to?
I was okay with it. As long as I trust who's coaching me, like, I'm quite adaptable. So I think I was all right because I trusted Phil and I think he was matting me. Yeah,
he was that way.
Yeah, so I was okay.
Yeah, because it's something we don't always we think about is that gymnasts are so used to having their personal coach, and all of a sudden they don't have their personal coach anymore, and the national coach has to get used to what makes you tick.
Yeah, I'm quite good because, like, I know myself really well, so I know what I need to do. Instead of my coach telling me, I just kind of go and do it by myself and take control.
Are you good at vocalizing that to the national coaches, going, okay, I need to do this, or this is what I'm going to do in 2 touch? exactly.
Yeah, I'm quite bossy, so I probably just tell Phil.
This is what's happening, Phil.
Like, Phil, just, this is what I'm doing.
So then, were you quite confident then, after coming off 2 World Championships, you've got a lot of experience, were you quite confident then going to the Junior Europeans in 2016?
I think I was all right. Everybody else hadn't, I think for the rest of the junior team, because it was Lucy Amy and Lucy Horan. So they hadn't done, I don't think they'd done a mini, I think Lucy Horan had done Tramp Worlds, but they'd never done a mini international. So I kind of felt like the leader of the little junior group.
Were you like the team captain?
We didn't really have any, but I don't know.
Like unofficially?
Yeah, let's say so. I'd like to think so.
Do you like being the mummy of the group? Do you like kind of helping people?
With all, like, in all my friendship groups, I'm the mum.
Is that why? Because your job is working with young kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
And do you think that comes into your? So it's been there your whole life then, if that's the way you acted.
Yeah, I think it's just because I'm really bossy. I'm just gonna go and you do this.
Can you remember how it felt? Because obviously the setup of the Europeans is very different to the setup of the world age.
So someone's falling down the stairs. Are you okay? Sorry, my sister's just fallen down the stairs.
Is she okay?
I think so.
Right.
Sorry, I just had
Just ignore.
Okay.
Yeah, so the format of the Europeans is obviously very different to the format of the World Championships. So like the Junior World Championships, the world age. Did it feel different? Because obviously you had a team final. Can you remember that?
Yeah. I think that, like yours, I kind of went in for all international. I just go in really, like, I put loads of pressure on myself, so they all sort of feel similar, except for the team final. Everything else felt like the same because it was just an international.
How different was the team final?
A team final was just really fun. Like, I like team finals.
It didn't feel that kind of extra pressure or anything, no?
A little bit, because I think I was last, and Lucy had fallen. Lucy Horan had fallen, so I was last, and I was like, oh, I've got to land on my feet. But that kind of worked for me. Like, I'm quite good with a bit of pressure. I like a goal. So, like, I'd say to one time I said to Phil, I think he said, then I think I hit 66.7, stuff like that. So I like someone telling me what I need to do, and then I'll just go for it.
Okay, to give you that target in your head that you know that you have to go and do.
Yeah, so I was just right. We won a medal. The goal was to beat the Russians, but we beat us.
Where did the team place?
Second.
Oh wow! Brilliant. I wasn't sure if it was second or third. I couldn't find the results online, but I thought it was second or third.
The seniors were third. Seniors were third, and the juniors were second.
Okay. And did it set you up well then for the individual final? Were you pumped and feeling like good going into the individual final because you had done so well in the team final?
Frozen there. I think so. I'm trying to remember. You weren't there, so you won't be able to tell me. Was team finals before individual finals?
Yeah, so team finals was first, and then the next day you had individual finals.
It probably helped because I probably had that rush.
Can you remember the individual finals?
Yeah, yeah, I can.
Was it your first individual final? Because it would have been your first international final.
Yeah, it was.
And where did you finish?
Third.
Bronze medalist. Very good. Was that expected, or did you go in thinking I can do this, or was it a shock?
I don't know. I kind of went in this is what I want to do, but I never say, Phil kept on saying, you're going to get a medal, and I was like, right, go and touch wood, go and touch the tree. I don't like to think like that before I do it. So I was just like, right, if I get that, that'll be great. Just
do your thing.
I'll land on my feet first. So I kind of knew that I could, but it's whether I delivered.
Do you prefer if a coach doesn't mention medals? Would you prefer if the coach just wouldn't talk and just focus on the process?
Yeah, because I'm really superstitious. So if someone says to me, "Oh, you're going to get this," I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to now because you've said that." I've got a wooden keyring. Have you seen my wooden keyring?
Yeah.
That I carry around. You have to touch it if you say something.
It's okay. If it works, it works. Everyone has
Lucy both do it. Lucy does it too. And at training, she's got this, like the vault horse that's wood, and she has to touch it before every go.
Lucy Steele.
Yeah.
She's your training partner, isn't she, in your club?
Yeah.
And was she on a lot of the teams with you as you were going through?
She's only done Europeans with me, and then she was on the junior teams when I was on the senior teams.
Did you like having a team with her when you were on Europeans together?
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, we're like sisters, so we bicker sometimes, but it's all good.
You think, because she's looking like she might transition up to senior team in the next couple of years. So would you like to share a team with her again?
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Cool.
I think it'd be nice to we'd just be like, woo, let's do it.
So after you've done 2016 Worlds or Europeans, you've done quite well, and you then decided to transition into seniors. Was it an easy choice? Did you always think, I'm just going to do seniors, I'm not going to do 17-21? Or was it something that your coach had to talk you into?
No, I think it was me. I think I was like, I just want to go straight to senior.
And did your coach support that and it was all fine?
Yeah, they kind of go with what I want to do. They're like, it's your career. And so we just.
And did you think you had all the stuff to contend for the with the seniors at that stage?
Yeah, I thought it was okay because it was the girls that I'd been competing with in 15-16 anyway. So I think they'd done 1 year 17-21 and then they'd gone senior, but we were all similar anyway. So I just went.
You decided to go into it. So that year 2017 after the Europeans was a World Games selection process. So the two spring series, the two qualifiers for the British Championships were also qualifiers for the World Games teams. Was that a target that year? Did you think I'm going to try and make the World Games?
I didn't think I'd get there. I was trialing just to see what could happen, but I think I knew that Kirsty would get the spot.
Did it feel? Because I remember
I wasn't good enough for the World Games spot. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of knew that Kirsty was the best of us to get it.
Yeah. Did I remember the spring series events that were the trials for World Games, and they were quite intense. Did you feel the extra pressure, even though you knew that maybe you weren't going to go, but did you feel that extra pressure of those trials?
I can't really remember.
I remember, it seemed like, I remember just as a bystander was watching, it was quite intense and it was quite drawn out.
That year that we all had to compete at like really late at night and we had no break in between. No, there's a big break in between
each round.
Like Was that year?
Yeah.
I was just really mad. I was in a foul mood. I was like, well, I'm cold now. And
yeah, people weren't happy. No. So you went on, 2017, you went on and you went into British and you got bronze medal. Yes. Was that expected? Was that in the plan?
Yeah, I think. I was aiming for a medal, I think. Because I think in 2016 I'd got bronze at British as well. So I think I was just trying to, maybe I was aiming for one higher, but.
At the beginning of the year, do you set out would you sit with your coach and decide, this is what I want to do this year, these are the goals, and this is the target? Or do you kind of see how it goes as you go along?
I think we don't sit down and talk about it, but in training I'll mention things and then we'll go with that. So we don't sit down, have a plan. I kind of have it in my mind and I'll say, right, this is what I want to do. Okay.
And do you come up with passes and stuff at the beginning of the year in those discussions, or do you wait and see how it progresses throughout the year?
I think we try to, and then the plan's do.
Well, plans can change, it changes as you go along.
It's quite hard to stick to that plan because you've got, say, 6-7 months and you can plan to have a move by then and you just don't have it, so you have to change it.
Yeah, it all depends, doesn't it?
Like me trying to fall in half, but instead compete a straight half out mount,
So when you're going into that British, that was obviously the trial for the 2017 Senior World Championships.
Yeah.
And was that something that was in your mind that I'm going to hit this score?
Yeah, I wanted Senior Worlds. Yeah.
And how did that feel? Because after you've come third, you've hit the scores. So did you know then you've qualified?
No, I was so mad after that competition because like I was happy with the bronze, but I think I landed out the box on every pass except for one.
Oh wow.
And in the prelims, my score had come up at a 66.6, and I think the score we had to hit was 66.5. And then they realised after the competition they hadn't taken off all the 0.9s where it landed out, so then they took that off, and I was like, oh, I had like 64 point something, I think.
God. So you hit your scores in the second round?
No.
I think because you must have hit it, because I think you've definitely hit it somewhere. So
I didn't hit a score, so I didn't think I was going.
Okay, because I thought you were third and Kim was fourth, and Kim had hit it by 0.1. So I think maybe your best two passes had hit the score at some stage.
I didn't think I had, but I thought no, because I don't think Phoebe had hit it, and she was in second.
Okay. So how did it feel then when you got to stay? Obviously, the selection letter goes out on the British Gymnastics website and you see your name on the list. Did it feel special?
I was in work, so I opened it up and I was like, don't cry. Don't cry. I think I was like, oh. I went over to the corner and I was on the phone to my mum and I was like, okay, I'm going to Wales.
Very amazing. Who was your coach at that stage? Was that still Kathy or was it Sarah at that stage?
Sarah then. I think Sarah kind of swapped in from 2016 onwards.
And was that would have been her first Senior World competitor as well then? So how did she get?
I think that Kathy's name was still on for me, so she didn't get.
Oh, she didn't get the name put on the selection. But she still knew. And everyone else still knew.
Yeah.
So was she super excited as well?
I think so, yeah. Yeah. It feels like so long ago now.
I know, it's only 3 years ago and it feels like forever. Do you think you would have been happy, because you say you didn't hit scores, do you think you would have been happy if they sent you to World Age again?
I don't think I would have been.
Would you have gone?
Yeah, like I don't know if we would have been able to afford it, because that was another big part of going senior, is that obviously it's funded. So
yeah, and I think it works out about the guts of £2,000, doesn't it?
Especially Florida was an expensive one, and Denmark. You wouldn't think Denmark would be that expensive.
Yeah, expensive.
It was really pricey, so I don't think we would have been able to afford another one.
So how did the Worlds go?
2017.
So individually.
Individually, I landed out the box on both again.
But did you did both your passes?
Yeah, which was a shock.
And then the team qualified to the team final.
Yes.
So when did you find out that who was, because obviously at Europeans, I don't know if people know this, but all four of the team go up in the team final and they drop the lowest score, so you get your top three scores. But in the FIG rules at the World Championships, only 3 people, and the team have to nominate those 3 people. So when did you know that you wouldn't be competing in the team final?
After the competition. I think Phil told me after the competition.
How was that? How did you feel about that?
I think I was upset. I think I went and cried to my mum. It's quite hard, everybody else in the team's competing and you don't get to, and you're like, oh, I don't feel like I'm part of it. But all the girls were like, no, you are, without your score we won't be in it, and so I think
because I think one of your passes did count towards getting on. So
yeah, but I was upset, and then I kind of came around towards the end of the day and I was like, yeah, okay, to be fair, I was the 4th.
Yeah.
So.
Was it important to you, because obviously we see on the video and the really cool picture when they won the silver medal, it was really cool that you were on the floor with them. Was that important to you? Did you ask to be on the floor? Yeah,
I think as a team we had to all be on the floor together, but I'd want to be there anyway.
Yeah.
And
so when all the drama happened with the 0 score and the inquiry happening, like, did you feel it the same way as the rest of the team felt it?
Yes. I had no idea what had happened with Fia. I thought that she'd put her hand down, Because on the ladder, her hands were down low. So when she came back, I was like, oh, what happened? Are you okay? Did you touch the mat? And she was like, no, they didn't count or something. I touched the side. And I was like, oh, because from down the end, you can't tell.
Okay, yeah.
And when she said that, I was like, oh, you know what? It's fine. We'll do it 2 years time. We'll do it again, and we'll win. And then that announcement came over the board, and we all went, what?
So did you have to kind of pick? Because obviously Kirsty was still the go. Did you help pick her up and try and motivate her to go and do the last pass?
I think I gave her a pep talk.
Okay.
It feels like a blur. Like we were all just, once that came over, you forget everything else. But I'm pretty sure I gave her a little pep talk. I was like, come on, go and show everybody what we've got. Go and do it. You could, smash it.
And did when you realized that you were getting the silver medal, how did that feel?
Oh, amazing! I cried. I don't I'm not really a crier, but I was like, oh, there's pictures of me, and I'm like, oh, like full on crying.
I think everyone cried at that point. I think I cried as well.
I was going, Beth's crying, and I was like, stop.
Because it was an amazing moment, and I said in Kim's interview that it was the moment of the competition. I think it was amazing. So
yeah, it was that jump. How was Phil's reaction so quick? He was on the floor by the time we'd all jumped.
Plyometric training, you see.
I love that video. I think I still have it on my phone. I won't.
Yeah, I think it's on Bryony Page's Instagram as well.
Is it?
She videoed it from the crowd.
I just can't see it. I think my mum and everyone had videoed it from the crowd as well, and they just go, wow! They're like screaming.
Amazing. So then you've come off the 2017. You've done quite well. You've landed all your passes in prelims, and your team has come second. Going into 2018, were you then expecting to make the 2018 Euros team?
I thought I would, and I think I got a bit complacent. But not making that team was the best thing.
Oh, really?
Happened to me. Yeah, that pushed me on so much. That was the first time I hadn't made a team in 3 or 4 years.
Oh, wow.
I'd been on every other team, so not making it, I knew. I mean, I'd trial.
So what happened in the trial?
So all my other passes were fine. I did all of them, and then it came to tuck off out double straight. And I didn't tuck off out double tuck. I just think I think my feet were through. You know what I'm like with my feet being through.
Yeah.
And I pushed, so it just went tucked.
No. So where did you end up? Can you remember where you ended up placing?
I think I was 5th. No, 6th. I think I was behind Lucy, so it was Kirsty, Ruth, Fee, Caitlin, Lucy, and then me.
Because I remember thinking, looking at the scores, thinking if you had been given that double straight, that would have put you up in the...
I did all that. I was like, if I'd been given the tariff, even if I had a 5 deduction, I would have been fine. But
so you're saying that's the best thing that happened to you. What did you do? What did you do after that trial process? You didn't get selected. Did you make a big plan to come back?
So I think I was like, right, I've got to start working now. I'd been, you know what I was like in training. I wasn't very good, was I?
But you were testing sometimes.
I had lots of mental blocks, didn't I? So I wouldn't take off for things, and it was really hard for me to do a full and back. So 2018, I didn't make the European team, and then we kind of came back into training, and we were like, right, let's just use this time to try and get some new skills. I'd always say no to learning a back in full, but then I was like, okay, let's do it. And then I got back in full, and then I think I went back and we did some full and back preps, and then I was fine with that, and it just all kind of came together.
Yeah, because I remember you had quite a good year that year, but then going into British, talk about the prelims, because the prelims I think wasn't what we expected. Because
I really wanted to compete back in full half.
Okay.
Because I like adding my halves to things, so I competed that, and then I ran off the landing area. So that was like, is it 4 marks? 3 marks?
Three, a whole mark from each judge, so it's 3 marks altogether. Yeah. And
then I think I was out the box as well.
Yeah, so that gives you another CJP penalty. So it was probably quite expensive.
Yeah. So,
do you remember where you are after the qualification day?
I can check.
You were fifth.
Fifth. I was gonna say 6th, but okay, so I was 5th.
Yeah. So then going into the finals, because going into that finals is probably one of the best 2-round competitions I've ever seen you do. What was your attitude?
I think I went in with, I think I'd said to Sarah, let's have some fun.
Okay.
I never have fun in competitions. I'm always so hard on myself and like with this goal. So I was like, you know what? It doesn't even matter. Probably not going to get a medal anyway. Let's just see what I can do.
And can you remember where you finished?
Second.
And can you remember your score from that 2 rounds?
69.2.
Yeah, I've got. So like, if I don't know if people know, but in Britain, up until this year, we've always the results of the British Championships are based on the 4 passes. But if you went into that final and it was a 0 final like it is at a FIG event, you would have been British champion.
Yeah.
So did that give you kind of confidence?
Yeah, I think for Worlds that helped, and I think that was the team, because obviously the team selection was coming out, and I think the score was 68.5 or 68.3.
Yeah. It was something
So
close to it. Yeah.
I feel like I knew that I was going to be on the Worlds team for that. I wanted to wait until it came out because I always never tell people until it comes out. But I was like, come on, got to be confident with a 69.2.
But it was probably one of the biggest 2-pass scores we've had that year for British girls. So then Worlds 2018, how did you think that went? You were the top Brit. You were the top British girl at that competition.
Yeah. I liked my pike off out back in full. My took off out full and straight bent a little.
Okay.
So I think that pulled me down. I think if that had been all right, and was I out the box? Or did I step out?
I think you're at the box for one of them, yeah.
I think I ran around. I'm not good at landings. I think I was doing a little dance around on the... I think I'd worked that out as well, that if I hadn't have done my little dance, I would have been in final.
Okay. So was that another good confidence boost for you to know that you can go internationally and you can be the top British girl?
Yeah. I just wish that it was a team final event.
Yeah, that was the thing. 2018 was the year that had no team finals.
Yeah.
And you would have been in there. So then coming off that, even though you didn't make final or whatever, coming off those 2, I think they were quite important events for you in your progression as a senior. Did you feel confident going into 2019? Did you think this is your year?
Yeah, I came in and I was like, right, last year was great. Let's do it again. The year started off great. Up until that first camp was good. I got my full straight. I'd been doing fulls, full and half mounts. And then Spring Series 2 hit me hard. Spring Series 1 and 2 hit me hard.
Yeah, so tell everyone what happened. So Spring Series again is in Britain, is a qualifier for the British Championships. And at this in 2019, we only had 2 passes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 2 passes and it was Worlds. The scores went towards Worlds.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, so we changed it so that British Championships wasn't the only qualifier for Worlds, that Spring Series 1 and Spring Series 2 were also qualifiers.
Yeah.
So explain what happened in them.
So I decided I'd learn full straight maybe 3 weeks before the competition.
Yeah.
3 or 4 weeks before the competition. So I decided that I wanted to compete the full straight at Spring Series 1. So I did. And this is what I did. That's an accurate representation, isn't it? I just came straight down on my face. I thought I was okay, but I wasn't at all.
You were committed to that shape.
Committed to the straight shape. It still hurts me to watch.
Yeah, because it had been so consistent in training and so consistent at camps.
Yeah,
and beautiful.
Like 5 or 6 a session, every training session, and they were fine. Yeah.
So then going into Spring Series 2,
yes,
was that in your head then, knowing that you had crashed the first one and you needed to hit it to be able to go to the British?
Yeah, so Spring Series 2, I came in all focused on the full pass. So I did it. I think I did it first. I did it first again. And it went fine. I think I stuck it. And then, again, my pass that I can always rely on, I did the same thing.
The front drop.
I think it was more of a knee drop this time, but yeah.
So what happened? Do you think that mentally you had relaxed after the full going, oh, I did it?
I don't know. I feel like I was really on edge. Like I knew that I needed to get that score, especially because there was only the 3 competitions that counted, and I'd already bombed out one of them. So I don't know. I just think that I landed in the wrong place.
Yeah, it can happen. It's kind of one of those things that you don't know what happened and it just happened.
Yeah. Because I thought I was okay. I just had no idea what was going on. It felt really powerful, that back in full, and then I was on my knees.
So then 2019 British, I think you came 5th. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think it was 5th. And then you qualified to 2019 Worlds. So this is going to be your third Worlds.
Yeah, third Senior Worlds.
And how did the build up to that go? So obviously you'd had kind of disappointing results in competitions throughout the year. Did you become more focused when it got towards World Championships?
I really struggled, actually. I thought I would be really on it. I couldn't get motivated at all.
And how did you find
your actual train? I didn't want to do anything.
How did you find your competition over there? Did it individual? Did it go okay?
Yeah. It could have been a little better. My full straight could have been a bit straighter. I think I got it piked.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
But I was happy with what I did. I think I hit was it 67, 68? No.
68 something, I think so.
So I topped what I'd done in 2018 score-wise. So I was happy with that.
Yeah. So then when did you find out, obviously then 2019 was the Team Worlds. When did you find out then that you wouldn't be in the team final?
After walking back after my second pass.
Oh. And how did it feel like? Did it feel worse than the 2017, or were you able to handle it better?
I think it felt worse than 2017 because we were all on a par, so like it could have been anyone.
Yeah.
And it just looked that it happened to me twice.
Yeah. And the previous year would have been you. So like you were saying about a minute ago, about your motivation and stuff. Was that whole build up? Was that whole time? Was that tough for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you've spoken out recently in social media about some mental health issues you have coming towards that. So can you, if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to give a little bit of brief detail about what kind of things were happening, what you were feeling that coming up to that Worlds and that British.
So kind of started, I'm trying to think of like when I can completely pinpoint it. I feel like all year I was sort of sad. I wouldn't say like depressed, but I was sad because obviously everything kept on going wrong and I couldn't work it out. I feel like that maybe it was throughout the year, but I only noticed it towards Worlds. So around October, I had like this week, all my rabbits died in 1 week.
Oh yeah, I remember.
It was after that I fully started to like notice it. So then after that, I would go into training and Sarah would be like, come on, let's do your pass. And I'd be like, I just don't want to. Like, I was like, I just don't want to be here. But obviously I felt like I had to. So I show up even when I don't want, like even now I'd go to training even if I didn't feel like I wanted to, because that's just what I do. So I'd go to be like, come on, we've got to get motivated. We've got to get moving. And I was like, it's just too much.
Did at that point at all, did you consider pulling out of the Worlds, or did you consider giving up the sport, or what was your motivation?
I mean, I didn't want to do Worlds, but at the same time, I knew how hard I'd worked. So in my head, what I was thinking in my head was, I know you don't want to do it now, but think of what past Beth would think if you didn't do this. Yeah. And like even future me, when I get past this, I was like, you have to go and do it. You have to go and at least try.
Did you recognize that there was a thing, like, had you at that point, had you recognized that maybe you were depressed, or that, had you recognized that it was a mental health issue, or was it just a feeling? So I have a sports psychologist, so I'd kind of spoken to him about it, and he was like, look, he said, we could get into everything now and try and work out what it is that's making you feel this way, but I feel like that's going to make you worse right now. So let's wait until after Worlds so we don't get any worse, and then let's go through it. So was it after Worlds that you really tackled it and you really found out what it was and how to overcome it? Well, how long did I have off? Maybe like 6 weeks. He'd kind of told me, look, don't go back to training until you feel happy to. Okay. I had quite a long time off, and then I went into training and I just thought, I'm going to leave Mini. I'm not going to
do it. It's not making me happy. So I went on trampoline.
Okay.
So I started doing a bit more trampoline. I was actually supposed to compete tramp this year.
Oh, the spring series.
Yeah, my last year, 17 to 21, but oh well.
And coming away from DMT, did that help you for a while?
It actually did a little bit, and then I kind of got back into I don't want to do it. Because then Sarah would say, come on, we've got to do a little bit of mini Europeans trials are coming up, and I was like, don't want to. I just wanted to like do tramp. I was just finding tramp fun.
And do you think that was a problem? Do you think because you were so into, you were on the world's team a few times, you were one of the top, that the kind of fun element had been taken away a little bit?
Yeah, maybe a little. I think that because I'm like, I do it to myself. Like I'm just so hard on myself. So I think that's probably why it's not fun. Whenever I go and train mini, there's always like a plan like I have to follow. So I have to warm up with my double straights, then I have to do back and forth. And I just didn't want to do that. I didn't even want to do like mounts and learn new moves. I just didn't want to.
So you had made the decision.
Like every time I went on mini, I just wanted to cry. Like someone would say, come on mini, and I'd just be like, it just made me want to cry.
And had you made the decision then? Had you finished? Were you done with mini?
No, I still hadn't got to that point. I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, should I, like, is this making me happy? Should I just call it quits? But then I still had that little bit in my head, like, what are you going to do without this, though?
So who was your support structure in that time? Like, who was helping you through that, and who would be the people that really got you out of that and helped you to kind of get your way through it?
So I went through it on my own for a little bit, and then the psychologist told me to speak to my parents and like my sister. So I kind of I don't think I didn't go into it like
deep.
It's this bad. I think my mom came in one night and I was just crying in my room. She was like, "What's up?" And I was like, "I'm just so tired of crying all the time." And she was like, "Well, why do you think you are crying?" I was like, "I don't know." So that's when I spoke to her. And then my dad came up and he was like, "Why are you crying?"
But did that opening up that channel of communication and telling them, did that help it? Did it seem like easier straight away, or?
I wouldn't say straight away. I mean, it definitely helped. We started doing stuff that makes me happy. So like I like DIY. So we did up a room in the house and we did all that. This was before Worlds that I'd kind of spoken to them though.
Okay.
So we did that, and then we just started trying to do stuff that made me feel good, and that helped.
And how important was your sports psychologist? Did he help?
I've not actually spoken to him that much. I mean, we've spoken a little bit recently. He's recently moved to Scotland.
Okay.
So it's quite hard. We've just been like FaceTiming every now and then, but he was a good support whilst I was going through it. Yeah.
So you're really glad, because obviously you put that on social media, and I think it's really important because I think a lot of sports people go through the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's very common. I think it was really brave to put that up on social media because it's putting yourself out there. Did you get much response from people?
I got so much like, you can talk to me and and I'm going through the same thing. And I think that I just thought when I was going through it, I didn't really know of anybody else. And I think if you are going through it, it's nice to have someone that you can relate to.
Yeah.
So I just figured if I put this out there, maybe it'll help somebody.
And did you reach out much to your teammates and stuff? And did they know what you were going through?
They didn't at Worlds. I'm very good at disguising things, so I'll make a joke. I think I'd made a joke in Worlds like, "Oh, I hate my life," stuff like that. So I was really good at covering it. But then after I'd put it on social media, they sort of reached out and were like, "Look, we didn't realize you were feeling this bad. Are you okay?" And we all talked. So
where are you at now with DMT and with sport in general? Obviously, we're not training because of COVID-19, but where are you at mentally with sport and your attitude towards it and everything?
I'm feeling like okay about it. I think I'd be all right to go back now. I needed this break.
Yeah, came at the right time.
The world of good, and it's quite nice that everybody else is like taking the break as well, because I wanted to take a break but not fall behind everybody else.
Yeah,
it's like that's quite scary.
Yeah, because then you've got a bigger gap to fill once you get back.
Yeah, and everybody else like is going through it, so I think that it's helped.
So you're happy that they've moved the Europeans to 2021 in Russia?
Yeah, I love Russia.
Well, Sochi is on the Black Sea, and it's supposed to be a beach resort, so it looks quite nice. And it's in May, so it might be quite warm. So, would Europeans and then obviously World Games, would that be a target for you in the future?
I'd like to do World Games, yeah.
Be interesting.
So I loved Russia when we went.
Yeah, it was
like
amazing.
My favorite competition.
Really?
I had so much fun in Russia.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. That's actually leads quite good into your next one. So, what was your biggest win or your favorite competition?
Russia. My biggest win. Ooh. That's a tie between 2014 British and Europeans.
Okay, cool.
But then also, like, I loved winning that team silver, but then I feel like because I didn't get to compete in the team final, it's like a, you know.
But was it good? How did it feel standing up on the podium? It still must have felt good.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
The waving and the.
Yeah, it must still feel a pride.
I love the cameras.
So in terms of, you talked about like, because obviously you like playing around with different moves or anything like that. What's your favorite move that you've done? Not necessarily competed, but that you've done.
I love double straights and I love back and falls. Oh, but you know what? Like my favorite tramp move is
What?
half out ball out.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. I'm really good off my back. I like moves off my back.
Well, that's a prep for Triff, so we can see you doing Triff mount soon, hopefully.
I can 2 and 3 mount.
Okay, well, you never know.
Did it?
No.
I did it at last squad.
Oh, because I've been working with the juniors, and we're obviously so busy now that I don't get to see a lot of the seniors.
So
what are your future upgrades? Like, so what if we get back into it and you're preparing for Europeans next year? What do you think would be the new skills or upgrades that you want to include?
I want to start working my full and half mounts again because I'd stopped.
Okay.
I can full and half on tramp easy. I just can't seem to get it on mini.
It's getting that power up into it. Do you do it top, or do you do it piked or straight, or?
All of them. I learned all of them within 3 days.
Oh wow.
I joked with Phil. We were talking on Facebook, and I'd sent him the full and half tuck, and then I think I was like, "Oh, pike tomorrow," like as a joke. Then I did the pike and sent it to him, and I was like, "Okay, tomorrow I'm going to do straight." And then I didn't actually think I was going to do it, and then I did. So
why not?
Why not?
Have you ever thought about likes of millers or triple backs?
I've done one triple back to face. So I thought about that, but then I think I'll show you the video. I'm really good at landing on my face.
Don't do that.
I'd like to try Miller, but I think first I need to get my full consistent.
Yeah, definitely, fair enough. So, like throughout your career, we've talked about different things you've had, but have you suffered with much skill confusion or injuries or anything?
Skill confusion, definitely.
What skills do you find difficult?
2015, I lost double backs.
Oh,
just
wow.
randomly. I just couldn't do any double back. And that went on until just before Europeans, and then I got it back. And then Europeans.
How did you get them back? What did you do to get them back?
We went to pits. So we went to Liverpool, and they let us use pits. So I think I did it off the mini, and then I had to I made Sarah and Kathy open up the centre so that I could do it off our mini, because I knew that if I went back the next day and did it, I wouldn't do it.
So you went straight from Liverpool to
back to training, and then I was like, right, we've got to open up. I've got to do at least one double back. So I went back and I did it, and then I was fine. I think I've got that video too of me jumping up and down like, yeah.
That's a big thing. I lost double backs as well. They're not a nice thing to lose.
It actually feels better getting a skill back than it does learning a skill for the first time. Which like sounds crazy, but I think when you go through all that grief for like years and years, you're just like, ugh.
And what was the issue with full ins? Because I remember when I was a coach at the Scalabus Cup, and we couldn't get you to do full ins in training at all. What was the issue?
It was like a really weird one, because I was fine with them up until it was a coach at our club, not Kathy or Sarah, but one of the coaches at our club forced me to do an extra one, and I think I'd done 2, and I was tired that day, and I'd sort of said, look, I don't feel like I can do another one. So she said, you have to do another one. So I mean, I did it, but it scared me that someone had forced me to do it, and I didn't want to do it. I probably had that feeling of, oh no, as I'd taken off.
Yeah.
And since after that, I was just scared to do it. So it was weird because like nothing, I'd not hurt myself on it or anything. I just got that. Every time I was supposed to take off, there was something in my head that told me not to do it.
And do you avoid them now completely?
No, I competed them in 2018. I didn't think I did them last year because I had fulls. I was a bit scared to do them after I came back after Worlds. So like
Really?
start of this year, I was like, ooh. I get a bit funny with fulls. Sometimes I just forget how to do a full, and I'll just do a full twist jump. I do.
Only you, Beth. Only you.
I'm just weird. Like it's so weird. I can't do some skills sometimes.
And was there much injury? Have you ever had injuries that you've had to deal with throughout your career?
Not really. I had just my tore hamstring and then a dodgy toe.
So, thinking about your coaches now, what do you find that you get? Because obviously you've still got Kathy, who's around sometimes, but Sarah's your main coach. What are the differences between them? What do you get from one to the other?
Oh, this is a tough one. Kathy's not coached me in ages. Oh, I don't know. Kathy's a bit more old school, I'd say. So obviously she's been around for ages, hasn't she? I don't know. Kathy doesn't really coach me because sometimes she forgets to throw the mat in, so I won't let her mat for me.
And what about going from your personal coaches or for Sarah to the national coaches? Do you find much of a difference?
Not really. I think that like I've known Phil for years now, so they kind of just know. They know me. Everybody knows me. They know what I'm like. And
I think Sarah, your coach, works quite closely with Phil, so he'll know exactly what you're doing at any point.
And I think there's lots of like they have lots of conversations about us, and then I met Phil and he sees videos of me doing stuff, so they all know where I'm up to. And
so, Joe, do you think it's important to have that relationship between the coaches so that you feel comfortable moving from one to the other?
Yeah, definitely.
And then, how important have your parents been in your whole career? Like, do they get involved much in the sport? Do they talk about the technical side of it, or do they just support you completely?
My mum and dad actually used to coach.
Oh, really?
My dad and my sister are both judges.
Oh, wow.
Does
it get quite a lot?
Huh?
Does it get quite intense at home then? Because they know that they don't just support you, they know the ins and outs of the sport.
Yeah, like if I did a pass or something and I sent them a video because I thought, oh, it was the best one I'd done, they'd be like, but you pipe down. Or, but you bend your knees. And I'm like, can you just say well done?
Yeah, that's the problem with having them when they know what they're doing. So do you think that gets quite intense? Do you have to tell them sometimes, chill out?
I normally just leave it. I'm just like, it's fine. Sometimes I shout at my sister about it because obviously she used to trampoline as well, so she knows that side. And then she used to coach a little bit. I don't think she's got a qualification, or maybe level 1. But and then she was a gymnast, so I'm just like, just stop it.
So where do you get most of your emotional support from in terms of the sport? Like, is it your parents, your sister, your coaches?
Probably everyone.
Just a bit of everything?
A little bit of everyone. Like Sarah will, if I'm having a meltdown in training, Sarah's like, come on, let's do it. If I'm having a meltdown at home, either Loz or my parents will say, get your act.
Do you talk to your friends much about your sport, or do you like to keep it just so that you don't talk?
I'm quite private about it. I don't really speak about it. My mum always embarrasses me because if we go anywhere, she's like, oh, well, and Beth does this. And I'm like, please stop. Fish,
mum. But do you think it's probably good because it gives you that time away from the sport, so your friends aren't talking about it?
No.
Gives you that mental break.
Yeah.
Looking forward in the sport, because we talk about difficulty and stuff, are you aware of the new code that's coming in 2022?
A little bit that you explained to me.
So do you think, because obviously now we have 4 passes, 2 passes in prelims, 2 passes in finals, but now all we need really is 2 passes. So you do your 2 passes in prelims, and your highest score counts. It has to be 2 different passes. And then in your you get to the next qualification round, you can repeat a pass, and then between F1
semi-final. Like, is the next round the semi-final?
It's called Q2. It's called Q2. So, and then F1, and then if you progress past that, you do one pass in that. If you progress past that, you do F1 and F2. And if you're in F1 is 8 people, and if you're in the top 4 after that, then you go into the last bit of it, which is like the super final.
So do you actually get to compete more?
You can a little bit more. In terms of there's more rounds, but not necessarily a lot more passes. So if you do all rounds, you'll do 5 passes, but it's not 5 different passes.
Yeah, 5 of them.
So how do you feel about the fact that you'll only really need 2 passes instead of having the 4 passes?
It will be a bit easier, I think. So. Because, well, not with the difficulty side of it, but like with training, because sometimes it's really hard to train all 4. By the time you've done 2, I then run out of time, and I'm like, oh. Do you think
it'll play to your strengths a bit more?
I don't know. I haven't got great difficulty.
Well, you've got, like, if you look at the videos, you've got your full straight, you've got back in 1.5 out, you've got back in full out and full and back out straight. So they're quite difficult passes, and you've got half out
onto a full.
Sorry?
I could probably stick a half onto a full somewhere.
Yeah, well, that's it. Because now in the new code, there's only 2 execution judges that count instead of 3. So the score is out of 20. So that means difficulty is now worth a bit more, because there's only 2 the executions out of 20 instead of out of 30.
This is going to really confuse me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to have to do it to understand it properly.
I think once you get it's not going into 2022. So probably once you get a few competitions under your belt with the new code, you'll understand it.
Yeah. Is that not coming in for 2021 then? Like World Games?
It's been changed because of the Olympics have been changed and everything. What they've done is they've moved World Games to 2022, and the new code is coming in the 1st of January 2022. So the
2021?
2021 Worlds will be the old code.
And that'll be a team final?
Yeah, and there'll be a team final. Dun dun dun. You finally get a team final.
I'm coming.
So have you thought about your kind of involvement in the sport after you retire?
I want to coach. I just like, it's so expensive right now and I don't have time.
Yeah.
But I'd like to coach.
Well, like we said earlier on, your occupation is working with kids, isn't it? So it lends itself perfectly. Do you help out in the club much at the moment? No.
I think that in our club you have to either be doing your level 1 or have a qualification, I think.
But even in terms of the group of gymnasts that you work with, would you give advice much or help with conditioning or that type of thing?
Yeah, I'll give them a little bit of motivation, or I'll say, look, if you do this pass with this difficulty, I probably annoy Sarah sometimes because I'm like, come on. Someone will learn a double tuck and I'll be like, do it piked.
But it's good. But like, did you have someone like that when you were coming through that gave you that motivation in training?
Probably my sister. There was like a group of us that were like a similar age. There's not so much now, it's just me and Lucy. But there was 4 or 5 of us that were all, around the same age. I think the 4 of us used to call ourselves the awesome 4 tramp something.
Right.
We had like this nickname. So they were all, they'd push me.
That's good, because it's good that you're giving that to other people, and it's good you show by example to the other kids how to support everyone.
Yeah.
Cool. So in terms of if you had a gymnast, if you were talking to gymnasts now who was starting their whole DMT career or just coming through, what's the biggest piece of advice you'd give them?
Biggest piece of advice? Okay, this is something that I did. So don't make DMT your whole life. Okay. Like, because I literally do nothing but mini and trampoline.
And do you think it's important to have that away from the sport for your mental health?
100%. I think, like, when I turned 18, I went training instead of going out. Okay. So, like, I think that you need to have a bit of fun as well as train. I've always been too strict, like diet, no drinking when it's comp season, and everyone else is going out having fun, and I just sit at home. So do
you think now going forward after lockdown and we come back out of this, do you think you'll have a different approach to life and to your balance of life and training?
Yeah, I think I need that. I think that's probably a big part of like my mental health that came into it, is that I had nothing else.
But now it's going to be a different kettle of fish.
Well, I'll still probably sit at home like an old grandma, but I'll try.
So are you quite positive now about the future of it compared to what you
Yeah,
were?
yeah, I feel so much better now.
Yeah, it's good to see, because you're always a happy person. You're always fun,
Yeah.
enjoyable. Good to see. It was horrible to see that effect and that you were quite
Tell,
down.
like, did you tell last year?
Yeah,
I, like, tried to hide it, but I,
it's not easy to hide something like that. But like you said, and I'll say it to the people watching this, that talk to someone, get it out there, and it makes it a lot easier. Would you agree?
Yeah, talk to me. Talk to anyone.
I'll put her.
Send me a DM on Instagram. Like, I'll reply.
I was just gonna say, I'll put your Instagram handle up here, and they can all go in and look at it. Cool. Well, I think that's everything for now. It's been really good fun because you're mental.
Yeah, I'm crazy.
I knew it would be.
To dial it down.
I knew it would be a fun interview because you're just funny. I've always thought you're funny, and I've always enjoyed your company. So I knew it'd be a fun interview. And so thanks for joining me today. And I'm sure I'll see you again soon.
Yeah, you will.
See you later.
Bye.